Good morning, guys. Can you hear me?
Morning,
Hello,
Professor.
Professor. Yes.
Hi, guys. Hi. All right, so we're gonna start soon. So I hope you guys did pretty well in the exam, like the test two. So I will import your mark hopefully by end of today or by end of the week from Vreta to Blackboard. I should do that basically more often, but I've been very busy. So I'm gonna do that hopefully by end of the week. Import your mark from Vreta to Blackboard. So and please someone keep an eye on the participant. If someone is waiting in the lobby, let me know that they're in the lobby so that I can let them in. Beatrice, you used to do that. So if Beatrice, if you can do that, that would be great. So keep doing this. Just let me know if someone is in the lobby so that I can let them in when I'm in the middle of the presentation. Because when I'm in the middle of presentation, the presentation is going to be full screen, so I don't have any basically I don't have any idea who's in the lobby waiting for to join the class. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen. You don't have any question? Do you have any question before I start the course regarding the test or whatever? Any question, guys? All right, I'm just gonna share my screen. All right, so one more thing before I start the course. I just want to go to your test. So the lesson labs 8 after today course, you would be able to do that. So we're going to discuss trade discount today, and also we're going to discuss the exchange rate. So so these two things we're gonna discuss today. So all right, so I will pop up my PowerPoint. Do you see my PowerPoint now?
Yes, Professor.
All right, that's good. All right, so all right, today we're gonna talk about trade discount. So what is trade discount? Basically, you have so in merchandising, basically in trade concept, you have basically a manufacturer and you have a consumer. Okay, so that's basically in basically trade. The manufacturer, for example, the manufacturer make a shoe, right? And the shoe, like Adidas or Nike or whatever, and the manufacturer basically give it to distributor, and the distributor for the local region, right? So for example, distributor is Ontario distributor, okay? And this Ontario distributor give it to wholesaler in each city, right? In each city in Ontario, you have a wholesaler. So the distributor give those shoes to wholesaler, and the wholesaler also, for example, for each city in the wholesaler is going to give it to retailer. So retailer, so you will have, and then the retailer is going to give it to consumer. Okay, so that's basically the whole supply chain in terms of basically manufacturing and basically receiving the consumer. Okay, so in this distribution chain, basically anyone who makes something is gonna get some profit on it. Okay, so for example, manufacturer is gonna basically for example, for the shoe, the cost of shoe can be $60 for manufacturer, but you put some profit on top of it, right? So and then you give it to distributor. Distributor also get the shoe from manufacturer and also put some profit on top of it, and then give it to wholesaler, and wholesaler, so on and so forth, so that the consumer get the final price. Okay, so the consumer get they call it list price. So list price is the price that the consumer basically receive basically the good. Okay, so as I said, it's any of these guys is going to put some margin on top of it, and the thing which they put basically called trade discount. So any basically margin or any profit that any organization take on top of the net price, which they're basically their original price, is called trade discount. So trade discount basically is a profit. Another name in trade, basically in trade concept or trading word, basically the trade discount is equivalent to profit. So basically you have a list price and you have a net price. Net price is a price that manufacturer cost. Basically, the net price is basically the cost that you make, the goods has been made. Okay, for example, in this case of bicycle, for manufacturer it cost $400 to just make the bicycle. Okay, but when I wanted to sell this bicycle, sell it at the list price, which is going to be $500, and the $100 is going to be trade discount. They call it trade discount, and it generally it's basically represented in terms of percent form. So in this case 20% trade discount. Okay, so because 100 divided by 500 is going to be 20%. Okay, so the trade discount is basically a profit, another term of profit, which is basically a percentage of the whole price. Okay, so we have a net price, we have a list price, and we have a trade discount. Okay, so in case of you have multiple units in the supply chain, each one has its own trade discount. Okay, manufacturer has its own trade discount, distributor has own this trade discount, wholesaler has own trade discount, retailer has own this trade discount, and so on and so forth. So basically each one has its own trade discount. Okay, so that's basically the concept of trade discount. Okay. Yeah. So, for example, let me just put basically a paintbrush here. I made some presentation here. Okay. So, okay. For example, if there is a shoe, there is a manufacturer. I call it M, and it's make a shoe. Okay. So, for example, it can be a Nike or something like that. The cost of the shoe could be like $60. And then manufacturer put, so that's going to be net price for manufacturer. Manufacturer put a trade discount of $10 on top of that. Okay, so trade discount is going to be profit for manufacturer. Okay, so then it's going to give it to a distributor. Okay, so I call it D. Okay, so the net price for distributor is going to be 70, right? Because the 70 is the price that you receive the shoe from the manufacturer. Okay. And put, for example, $15 trade discount and give it to wholesaler, which I call it W. Okay, so for net price for wholesaler is going to be 85, right? Because received the shoe from a distributor, and put, for example, $20 trade discount, which is like which is equivalent to the of profits, right? So trade discount and profit are the same concept. Okay, and give it to a retailer. Retailer receive 105 for each shoes, and put, for example, $10 trade discount on top of it, and sell it to consumers. Okay, consumers. So in this case, we want to know, so here in this case, this is net and this is the trade discount. So in this case, the trade discount for manufacturer in terms of percentage is going to be 10 divided by 70, right? 70 is total price, net price, list price, right? Multiplied by 100, okay? Which is going to be, let's go back to calculator, 10 divided by 70 equal to 14.28. Okay, so it's going to be 14.28% trade discount. 14.28% trade discount. Okay, For distributor, it's going to be 15 divided by 85, right? 15 divided by 85 is going to be the trade discount. So that's going to be 15 divided by, sorry, 15 divided by 85 equal to 17.64, 17.64% trade discount, okay? For distributor, okay? For wholesaler, it's going to be 20 divided by 105 trade discount multiplied by 100, okay? That's going to be trade discount, okay? TD, okay? 20 divided by 105 is going to be 20 divided by 105 equal to 19.04. So it's going to be 19.04 trade discount for wholesaler, and finally for retailer, 10 divided by 115 multiplied by 100. It's going to be 10 divided by 115, 0.08, so 8.6%, okay? 8.7%, let's say, 69% trade discount, okay? So that's how we calculate trade discount. So there is a net price, for example, here, net price, and there is a trade discount amount, okay? We divide the amount by the list price, which is going to be the total price, and then multiply by 100, we get a trade discount percentage, okay? And we have the different supply chain, and each one has its own trade discount, okay? So that's how we calculate this, okay? Okay, so any question until now, guys? All right. So in terms of equation, amount of trade discounts is going to be the D, which is the trade discount in percentage, multiplied by L, right? So that's what we calculate, right? We divide amount of the trade discount by L, by total price, and we find D, right? So that's how we calculate D, right? So in other words, we can also isolate that and find the list price. List price is going to be amount of trade discount divided by percentage of trade discount, okay? You can do other way as well. Other equation that you have to remember is N, net price. Net price is going to be L, list price 1 minus D, which is the trade discount, okay? The trade discount. So this is the equation you want to learn. So N is L, list price 1 minus D. D is always less than 1, right? So D is, for example, for this case, these 14.28%, 17.64%, 19.04%, 8.69%. It's always the value less than 100% and less than 1. So since this is less than 100%, it's going to be less than 1. And list price multiplied by 1 minus D is going to give you net price, okay? List price means the total price, okay? List price, net price is going to be the price without trade discount, and trade discount is going to be basically this amount, okay? Which is going to be D multiplied by L. D is a percentage of the trade discount, okay? Percentage of the trade discount multiplied by L. List price is going to give you basically the amount of trade discount, okay? All right, let's solve a question here. The list price of an item is $770. The trade discount is 20%. Calculate the amount of trade discount and the net price of the item, okay? So the list price $770. The trade discount 20%, okay? 20% of $770 is going to be amount of the trade discounts, right? So 20% of $770 is going to be amount of trade discount, which is going to be $154. And then 150, and then you deduct $154 from $770, you will come up with the net price. Okay, so net price in this case is going to be 770 minus 154, or you can use the equation which say net price is going to be L, list price, 1 minus D, which is 0.2, right? So L, 1 minus D, which is 0.2, and then 616. You can use that one or that one. You can use either deduct this guy, the amount of trade discount from this price to come up with 616, or you can use the equation which say L, net price is going to be L 1 minus D. Okay. All right, I'll give you a few minutes for this as well. The list price of an item is $480. The trade discount is 15%. Calculate the amount of trade discount and net price of the item. I'll give you a couple of minutes for this. All right, great. So we get a lot of B. Let's see what the correct answer is. Yes, B. B is right. So yeah. So as we said, the amount of trade discount is going to be the trade discount percentage multiplied by list price, right? So it's 0.15 multiplied by list price is going to be 72, right? So 72, and then you deduct 72 from 480 to find the net price. Okay, or you can use the equation. The net price is going to be list price multiplied 1 minus D, which is trade discount. Okay, so you can use either of these methods. So either you deduct the amount of trade discount from list price to come up with 408, or you can use this equation, which is going to be 408. Okay. All right. After 30% trade discount, the net price of an item is $700. Calculate the list price of the item and the amount of the trade discount. Okay. In this case, you have the net price and you have the trade discount. They ask you for the list price. Okay. So as I said, net price is going to be list price 1 minus D. So we basically have net price and we have D. So we need L. In this case, you can use you basically isolate L. L is going to be N divided by minus D, and N in this case 700, and D is going to be and D is going to be 0.3. So it's going to be 700 divided by 0.7, going to be $1,000. This is one way of solving it. The other way of solving it is going to be just using the same equation. Let's give me this with the team. You can do basically, oops, not saving, don't save this. You can use the same equation here, right? So give me a second. Yes. Same equation here. N is equal to L1 minus D. And then N in this case is going to be 700. 700 equal to L1 minus D, which is going to be 0.03, right? 30%. So 700 is going to be equal to 0.7 L, and L is going to be 700 divided by 0.7, which is going to be equal to 1000. Okay. Okay, that's the other way of doing this. Okay. All right, so amount of the trade discount, is going to be list price minus net price. So list price in this case is $1,000. Net price is going to be $700. It's going to be $300. Okay, so that's the amount of trade discount. Okay. All right. After okay, so this I give you a few minutes for this as well. After a 10% trade discount, the net price of an item is $250. Calculate list price of the item and the amount of trade discount. Okay, I'll give you a few minutes for this. This is very similar to last question.
Hello, Professor.
Yeah.
A classmate is waiting outside.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I will add it. Okay. All right. So a lot of A. Okay. Someone said B. Who said B? Oh, that's for the last one. Okay. So A. Okay. Yes, the correct answer is A. So how we do it? It's similar to last question. Net price is going to be list price 1 minus D. Net price in this case 250. D. Okay, so let's do this. That's the other way again. L equal to N divided by 1 minus D. Yeah. So L is going to be 250 divided by 1 minus 0.1. This is going to be 250 divided by this. 277.78. And then the amount of trade discount is going to be list price minus net price, which is going to be 27.78. Okay. So yeah, the answer was right. A is right. All right, another question. I'll give you guys a few minutes for this as well. An item is purchased after a trade discount of 20%. And the amount of the trade discount received is $50. Calculate the list price and net price. In this case, we don't know the list price and we don't know the net price. We know only the amount of trade discount and the percentage of trade discounts. We know that this amount is 20% of the whole amount, right? We know this amount is 20% of the list price. We know that, okay? And now I'll say what's the list price, okay? I'll give you a few minutes for this.
Excuse me, Prof.
Yeah.
Actually, I joined the class late, so can you explain little bit about these terms NL?
That's why you shouldn't come late, Hamanshu. That's why you shouldn't come late. We're already in half an hour, right? So you need to come at last 9:55. So I can't really explain it. You need to just basically take the videos. Okay. After the class, you can just go to a Zoom meeting and look at the recording. So I can go back and explain it, but I can briefly maybe tell you what's going on after we answer this question. Okay. But
Okay,
don't
thank you.
come to class late. Okay. If you come to class late, I can't just go back to the first slide and explain everything from the beginning. Okay.
Sorry for that. I will try my best.
Sure. Yeah. All right. So yeah, most of you guys answered it correctly. It's going to be D. So D is going to be the correct answer. As I said, $50 is going to be 20% of the list price, right? So basically, you have to multiply this by 5, right? So 5 times of this is going to be $250. So amount of trade discount, we use the same equation. As I said, the amount of trade discount is going to be D multiplied by L. So L is going to be, list price is going to be amount of trade discount divided by D. Amount of trade discount is going to be $50. D is going to be 20%. 50 divided by 0.2 is going to be 250. Okay. And net price is going to be list price minus amount of trade discount. Okay. So it's going to be 250 minus 50, or list price 1 minus D if you want to use the equation, which I suggest you to use the equation because you're going to use this equation later as well. So it's going to be 250 multiplied by 0.8, which is going to be $200. Okay, so it's going to be net price, and that's going to be list price. All right. So for Hamanshu, I'm just going to do it briefly. Briefly go back to the first slide, and then so yeah, Hamanshu. So we have, okay. So in mathematical trade, we have a list price, which is going to be the total price that the manufacturer charge you, and a net price, which is the price which costs for the manufacturer to make that item. Okay, and we have trade discount. The trade discount is a profit. Is a profit for that the manufacturer put on the item. Okay, so and trade discount is described by a percentage. So the 20% trade discount for this case is 20%, right? Because the manufacturer put $100 on top of a net price, which is $400, become $500. So $500 is going to be total price, and in this case, $100 out of $500 is going to be trade discounts, which is going to be 20% trade discount. Okay, so the whole thing is called list price, and the cost for the manufacturer called net price, and the profit called trade discount. And the profit is generally described in terms of percentage, and the percentage in this case is 20%. Okay. All right. Get back to questions again. All right. Okay. So one more question here. The list price is $800 and the net price is $600 for an item. What is the trade discount rate? Okay. So that's simple as well. Give you a couple of minutes for this. All right, so let's see what's the answers here. All right. A, other A, okay. Yes, the answer is A, that's right. You guys are smart. All right, so how do we do it? So the list, list price is $800, net price is $600, right? So amount of trade discount is going to be list price minus net price, right? So it's going to be $200. And the amount of the trade discount divided by list price is going to give you the trade discount rate, right? So trade discount rate is amount of trade discount divided by list price, okay? So it's going to be rate, it's going to be 25%, okay? All right, so we might have basically series of trade discount, okay? As I described at the beginning of the session, we might have series, right? So we might have a manufacturer, and there is a distributor, and there is a wholesaler, and there is a retailer. You might have series of trade discounts, okay? So first trade discount, second trade discount, third trade discount, okay? So we might have like that. So basically, at the time that the product comes to the consumer, the price is pretty inflated, right? So because there are lots of trade discount on the way to the consumer, okay? Just make sure that the basically net price for this level is going to be least price for last level, right? This is an important concept about trade discount you have to remember. So net price for this level, 450, is going to be least price for the previous level, which is going to be 450, right? And the net price for this level is going to be least price for this level, for last level, okay, for the third one, okay. That's important one, okay. So so you can't really add the percentage of discount to come up with the final discount, okay. So sometimes they ask you for the equivalent trade discount, which we discuss later, but you can't just say, okay, to equivalent trade discount is 5 plus 10 plus 50 plus 10. You can't say like 25% equivalent trade discount. It's not like that. So it's the equivalent trade discount has its own equation, which we're gonna discuss it later, okay. All right, this is a little bit more complicated question. Calculate the net price of an item worth $1,200 after 3 trade discount of 15%, 10%, and 5%. Okay, so basically you have your final price is $1,200. Okay, the first trade discount is 15%, so you have to deduct 15% from this guy to come up with the net price, and then again another 10% to come up with another net price, and then another 5% to come another net price. So there's going to be 3 levels of trade discount, okay? So I'll give you 5 minutes for this because it needs more calculation, okay? I'll give you 5 minutes, see who's able to do this, okay? It's simple, right? So you do one time, 15%, you find net price. That net price becomes least price for the 10%, right? And then you deduct 10%, it's going to be another net price, and then deduct 5%, going to be another net price. So it's 3 levels of calculating net price, and then the last one is going to be the final net price. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes for this. All right. Okay. We got a lot of C. A lot of C. Okay, you guys are pretty smart, huh? All right. So yeah, C is right. Okay. So $1,200 is going to be a list price, right? So we're gonna first find the first net price. Okay, first net price is going to be 15% out of $1,200, which is going to be $180, right? You deduct $180 from 1,200, you will be left with 1,020, which is going to be net price. Okay, and this net price is going to be list price for the next level of trade discount. Okay. It's going to be 10%. So 10% of this is going to be 102. You deduct it from 1,020, and you will end up with 918. 918 is going to be your list price for the next level. 5% of this is going to be 45.90, and 45.90 you deduct it from 918, you will end up 872.10. Okay. So that's how you calculate three level of trade discount. Okay, but we could have much easier way of doing it by using an equation of a net price for multiple trade discount. Okay, we can use much easier. This is the equation for that you don't need to do all this calculation by hand. So there's an equation called net price is equal to list price 1 minus D1 multiply 1 minus D2 multiply 1 minus D3 multiply 1 minus D4, and so on and so forth. As you can do as many trade discounts as you want. So you can use this equation instead of going one by hand. Okay, you can use this equation. So if you use this equation, 1,200 1 minus D1 1 minus D2 and 1 minus D3, 1,200, 0.85, 0.9, 0.95, and you can use your calculator, 872.1. Okay, you can do this one as well. Okay. Okay, so as I said, that's the same concept of doing this, right? So you have a net price, you have the net price for after one discount, net price at the second trade discount, and third trade discount, and so on and so forth. So you can basically use this equation. So this equation at the end, you can use for multiple trade discount. Okay. Another example, I give you guys less minutes for this. I give you guys 3 minutes for this. Calculate the net price of an item worth $5,000 after three trade discount of 20, 10, and 5%. Okay, you can use the equation which we learned already. 1 minus D1, 1 minus D2, 1 minus D3. Okay, 3 minutes. All right, so let's see what's the answer here. All right, letter A. Yes, A is right. And again, using the equation, guys. The equation is much easier. So equation L, 1 minus D1, 1 minus D2, 1 minus Dn. 1 minus 0.2 at 20%, right? 20% is going to be 0.2. 1 minus D2, which is 10%, is going to be 0.1. And 1 minus D3, which is going to be 0.05, okay? 5%, 10%, and 20%. So 1 minus 0.2 is going to be 0.8. 1 minus 0.1 is going to be 0.9. 1 minus 0.05 is going to be 0.95, okay? And then after you multiply 5,000 by all these numbers, it's going to be 3,420, okay? All right. Okay, this is a more complicated question. I give you guys more time for this, like 5 minutes, but let's read the question together, okay? The Boardroom Inc. offers a snowboard for $800 with 2 trade discount of 25% and 5%. Popular Board Incorporation offered the same model for $780 with 2 trade discount of 20% and 10%. Which offer is cheaper and by how much? Okay, so this is not that complicated. I thought this is a complicated question. This is not too complicated. I'll give you 3 minutes as well. 3 minutes for this. So, so basically, you want to find net price for this and net price for this guy and compare them together. See which one is cheaper. Okay. So net price for this with 2 trade discount, net price for this for 2 trade discount, and find which one is cheaper and by how much. Okay. I'll give you 3 minutes. All right, let's look at the answers here. B, other B, okay, let's see. Correct answer is B. Yeah, that's right, guys. Okay, that's good. You understand the concept and you apply it. It's very good, guys. I'm happy. Okay, so as I said, we have two trade discounts. So we have only D1 and D2. Now we have a list price of $800 for first one. So for first one, we have 800 bucks, 1 minus 0.25, 1 minus 0.05, right? 25% and 5%, 25 and 5. So we calculate this, it's going to be 570. So this is for boardroom. For Popular, we have 780 as lease price with two trade discount 20 and 10, 0.2 and 0.1. So it's going to be 561. So Popular is going to be cheaper. And for how much? 570 minus this is going to be 8.4. So Popular is cheaper with this, okay? 8.4. All right, so this is more complicated question. I give you guys 5 minutes. Store A sells a fishing rod that is listed at $250 with two trade discount of 15%, 5%, okay? Store B sells the item listed at $325 with one trade discount of 10%. What further trade discount must store B offers to match the price of rod available at store A? Okay, so in this case, you have the net price for a store B and a store A are the same. Okay, net price for both of them are the same. And you have two trade discount for a store A, so you know you can calculate the net price for this, right? And a store B, you have only one trade discount, and the second trade discount is unknown. You don't know what's the second trade discount is. Okay, you have the list price, you have the first trade discount, and you have the net price. You can get your net price from store A, right? So you don't know what's the second trade discount. Okay, so what's the second trade discount basically? That's the question. I give you 5 minutes for this. All right, so let's see who is answering this. Okay, letter A. Yeah, he's right, guys. So okay, I'm proud of you guys. Pretty good. All right, so we can do two-way, right? So first of all, let's find the net price for the both stores. So net price for both stores are 250. List price for store A, because we have two discount and we know what's the list price, right? So net price for that is going to be 250, 1 minus 0.15 and 1 minus 0.05. It's going to be 201.88. This the same net price for store B too, right? So so store B also has 201.88 net price. Okay, so list price for this is 325. Okay, by two trade discount. So first trade discount, we can apply first trade discount, and then this is going to be list. So you can apply first trade discount and consider this as a list price for second trade discount with the net price of this. Okay, we can do that as well to find the D2. Okay, or we can use the equation. So you can either use the equation or use this as basically the list price for a second trade discount, and we know what's the net price for that, right? So it's going to be the net. So it's going to be this price and net price, and you want to know what's the trade discount, right? So trade discount is going to be the difference between 292 and 201, and then 90 divided by this is going to be the percentage for the trade discount. Okay, this is one way of doing this. The other way of doing this is going to be this way. Okay, the other way of doing this is going to be this way. Okay, let me just go to paintbrush, make a new thing. So the other way of doing this is, say, 325 1 minus D1 1 minus D2 equal to the net price, 201.88, right? 201.88, and then isolate for D2, right? So D1 is 10%, right? 10%. So 325 multiplied by 1 minus 0.1 multiplied by 1 minus D2 equal to 201.88. And now this is 0.9, right? So 325 by 0.9 is going to be 325 multiplied by 0.9 is 292.5. So 292.5 1 minus D2 equal to 201.88. And now then you isolate for D2, right? So it's going to be 1 minus D2 is equal to 201.88 divided by 292.5. Then D2 is going to be 1 minus this guy, yeah, right? 201.88 divided by 292.5. If you calculate this, it's going to be the same number. It's going to be this number, right? 0.3098. 0.03098, or 30.98%. Okay, that's how you do it. Okay. So other concept we want to learn today before we finish the first part of the lecture is equivalent trade discount. Okay, so you, as I said, as we discussed at the beginning of the class, we have this. We can have a manufacturer, and we have a consumer. Okay. Sometimes you want to compact the whole thing. So from the manufacture time net price to the list price to the consumer, we want to compact the whole thing and say what's the equivalent trade discounts for all these trade discounts. Okay, so from L to N, you want to know what's the equivalent trade discount. You don't want to have this thing here. You just want to know what's the equivalent to all of these trade discounts. Okay, so then it's going to be 1 minus DE. Okay, so 1 minus DE, the equivalent trade discount of all these trade discounts. Okay, so then we find DE. So DE is going to be oh my god, that's too many. D is going to be like this. So D is going to be the equivalent trade discount. It's going to be 1 minus D1, 1 minus D2, so on and so forth. Okay, so 1 minus D1, 1 minus D2, 1 minus D3, 1 minus D, and it's going to be equivalent trade discount of all this trade discount together. Okay, so as I said, sometimes you want to know what's the equivalent trade discount. So you have all these trade discounts from manufacturing to the consumer. You want to say, okay, I just want to know what's the equivalent trade discount. I just don't want to go through all this calculation. I just want to know what's the equivalent trade discount. Okay, and the equivalent trade discount versus the other trade discount is going to be using this equation. Okay. Okay, so let's solve another example here. If an item with the list price of $1,000 is discounted under a series of discounts of 20%, 10%, and 5%, what's the single equivalent trade discount rate that represents all three discount rates? Okay, I'll give you 3 minutes for this as well. Use the same equation. Just one more time, the equation is this, right? 1 minus D1, 1 minus D1, 1 minus D1. Okay. All right. All right. Quite a lot of B and one C. So, all right. B is right. Same equation again. D is 1 minus D1, 1 minus D2, 1 minus D3 in this case, because we have only three trade discount. You put this in the equation and you find the D, okay? See 31.6%, okay? All right, guys. Any question until now before we dismiss the class for the next part? Any question? All right, so we can take a break for 15 minutes and come back at the 11:15 for the next part of the lecture. Okay, next part we're gonna discuss the exchange rate and currency exchange. Okay. All right, guys. Talk to you guys in 15 minutes. 11:15. Okay. Bye. All right, so we're back. So yeah, I just want to emphasize, guys, that you can do lab 8 and lesson 8. After today class, you can basically do those lab and lessons, okay? Okay, I'm just gonna share my screen again. Oh my God, I have difficulty sharing my screen again. There's some. Can you see my PowerPoint?
No.
All right, there is some.
Still loading.
Some problem. I don't know. My Zoom account has some problem. I don't know why. It's just. I had to do it many times to be able to share it. I don't know why. Let me just do the. All right, share window. Do you see it now?
Yes, Professor. Yes.
Okay, you can see the PowerPoint, right? Okay, that's good. All right. I just wanted to do the whole screen, but I don't know why I can't. Let me do it one more time, see if I can do whole screen, because I want to go to. No, it's not possible. All right, so let's do it the other way then. All right, let's do just do the PowerPoint. So you see the PowerPoint now, right?
Yes.
All right, sounds good. All right, okay. All right, so in this part we're going to discuss the exchange rate and the applications. Okay, so what's the exchange rate? The exchange rate is the value of one currency measured against another currency. Okay, so for example, how many Canadian dollar you would receive for $1 American on September 28, 2019. Okay, so on that specific date, you will receive for one US dollar, you will receive 1.3241 Canadian for that specific date. So this is basically exchange rate, right? So each currency, you can basically convert each currency to other currency on a specific date, because you know this is daily, right? So every day it can be changed, right? So today, $1 American can be this amount in Canadian dollar. Tomorrow is going to be something different, right? So this is every day. So it's every day basically rates, right? So basically every day the rate is going to change, and you have different currency against each other. Okay, so I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with this, right? So because most of you guys are like foreign international students or just come from foreign country, you bring your own money and you went to currency exchange in the airport. They say, oh my God, why is so expensive? Why is the rate is too bad? Okay, so because just the currency exchange make money out of the commission, right? So anyway, so for example, if you want to calculate how many Canadian dollar you receive for 500 US dollar on this date, September 28, 2019, for $1 US, you will receive 1.3241 Canadian, right? And you want to know how much you receive Canadian for 500 US dollars. So it's very easy. You just basically multiply this number by 500, right? So then you will receive that one, right? So in other words, if you wanna do it another way, basically, for 1 you receive 1.3241. For 500 you receive X. So you make this ratio. You can also make this ratio, and after you make this ratio, you will find X. X is going to be, you cross multiply 1 by X is going to be 500 by 1.34, right? So that's going to be this. Okay. So you either basically you can either multiply just 500 by 1.3241 or make the ratio. So some people are more comfortable with ratio, because in my last class also some people were comfortable with ratio. Some people just multiply with are comfortable just multiplication, right? So you multiply 500 by 1.3241 and you will find basically the 662.055 Canadian. So either way, so if you're comfortable with the multiplication, you just multiply. Sometimes you need to do division, so we will come to those questions as well. So you just divide by that and you'll find it. Okay, so you either multiply or divide. Okay, in this case it's multiplication, right? So you know $1 US is going to be this much Canadian. So how much? So 500 US dollars is going to be 500 multiplied by this, right? So all right, so we also have a cross rate table, right? So basically every day you can have this. Okay, so you will know how much Canadian dollar. So this shows how this basically the column shows every currency, and the rows also shows every currency, right? So Canadian dollar versus Canadian, $1 Canadian is going to be $1 Canadian, right? $1 US is going to be 1.3241 Canadian. This is euro, right? So €1 is going to be 1.4486 Canadian. £1 is going to be 1.6274 Canadian. This is Japanese yen, I believe. It's going to be 0.0123 Canadian. CHF, I think, is a Swiss franc. I don't know who's using this currency anymore, but they have it here. I don't know, anyone using Swiss franc? Switzerland is not part of euro, that they don't use euro anymore? I don't know. Anyway, so Swiss franc is 1.3363 Canadian, and I believe this is Australian dollar, but I'm not sure. 0.8955 Canadian. Okay, so that's yes. And then if you want to do this way, so one US dollar is going to be, in terms of Canadian, $1 Canadian dollar is going to be basically this much US dollar. One US dollar is going to be this much. €1 is going to be this much US dollar. £1 is going to be this much US dollar, 1.229 US dollar. 1 yen is going to be 0.093 US dollar. 1 Swiss franc is going to be 1.0092 US dollar, and so on and so forth. So, okay, so for example, if you want to know 1 yen, how much it's going to be in Swiss franc, 1 yen is going to be 0.0092 Swiss franc. Okay, so basically that's how you read this table. Okay, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with these boards all the time. So in any airport you find this board, right? So how much you can change your money, right? So you bring your US dollar, you want to know how much it's going to be in Canadian. You see the symbol US dollar. Canadian is going to be 1.3241 Canadian. Okay, as soon as you enter Canada, you see these boards, and then you bring your own money. You either bring US dollar, euro, yen, or Chinese yuan, or whatever. So any money you bring for your own home country, you will see this board in the airport, and you will know how much you get for one unit of your currency in Canadian. Okay, and then you change the whole money in Canadian, and you're happy. Okay, you can use the money. You can basically use the money in Canada. Okay, you can basically change your money and you can use it. Okay, so that's basically the table of currencies. Okay. which you can see in currency exchanges everywhere. Okay. All right. If $1 is 1.3241 Canadian, how many US dollar will you receive when you convert 300 Canadian? Okay, that's the other way, right? So this is the other way. So in this case, let's solve this together, and then I will leave you guys for the other one. Okay. So in this case, you don't. So in this case, $1 is going to be this much Canadian. Now I'll give you a Canadian. In this case, you have to divide, right? You divide $300 by this number. You find how many US dollar it is. Okay. So this is it's either two way, right? You either divide or multiply. In this case, it's division, right? Why? Because you give you 300 Canadian and ask you how much US dollar it's going to be, right? So you divide the 300 by this number, and you find how many US dollar it's going to be, right? You either divide or multiply. When you multiply when they give you US dollar. When you give you US dollar, say $1 is going to be that means Canadian. So how much is going to be like 300 US dollars? So you multiply 300 by this number. In this case, you give you Canadian and ask you for US, right? So how many US dollar is this Canadian? So is this number you divide by this, right? And you will find US dollar. Okay. That's going to be 226, and as I said, it's just divide. So 300 divided by 1.3241 is going to be X. Okay. Or you can use the table. Okay. In the table, some people are more comfortable with the table, guys. It's just the way you do it in table, let's say 1 Canadian, 1 US divided by 1.3241 is equal to X US divided by 300. And you solve for that. Okay, so you can make a table like this, So you say 1 US is going to be 1.3241 Canadian. X US, you don't know how many US is this. It's going to be 300 Canadian. Okay, so then you make this ratio. So this is equivalent to this ratio, and then you isolate for X. X is going to be 300 divided by 1.334. Okay. So either way is fine. So I leave it to you guys whether you want to use just simple division or you want to use the table. Okay, it's up to you guys. Sometimes for people it's confusing to use to know whether you have to multiply and they have to multiply or they have to divide. So for those people who is difficulty to know whether it is multiplication or division, I will leave it to you to use the table format. So in table format, you make a table, you say 1.3241. X, you don't know how many US this is, right? 300, and then you solve for X, okay? So you do this 1 divided by 1.3241 equal to X divided by 300. X is gonna be this, okay? It just depends on you guys, whether you're more comfortable with making a table or you're more comfortable to just use multiplication or division, okay? All right, here's another question. If $1 is 1.341 Canadian, how much you will receive if you convert $800 US to Canadian, okay? I'll give you guys 2 minutes for this. You don't even need 2 minutes, right? But okay, 2 minutes, okay? All right. Let's look at the answers. Letter C. Let's see. Okay. Someone said A and C. Who is that? A and C. Hamanshu, A and C. Okay. Let's see which one is right. C is right. Okay. So either the two-way, either you just multiply 800 because it's 800 US, you want to compare it to Canadian, right? One US is going to be this much Canadian, how much is going to be 800 US? Just 800 multiplied by this, right? Either do multiplication or make a table. So let's do the table way, okay? Table way, $1 US is 1.3241 Canadian. How much? 800 US dollar X Canadian. So 1 divided by 800 is equal to 1.321 divided by X. Or 800 divided by X divided by 1 is going to be X divided by this, or 1 divided by this is 1 divided by this is going to be 800 divided by X. Okay. So either way, the table way, you can make the fraction or ratio either way. So 1 divided by 1.3241x, sorry, 1 divided by 1.3241 equal to 800 divided by x, or 1.3241 divided by 1 equal to x divided by 800, or 1 divided by 800 equal to 1.3241 divided by x, or 800 divided by 1 equal to x divided by 1.3241. Okay, so anyway, any of those ratios are valid when you make a table. When you make it like when you make a table like this, any of these ratios are valid. Okay, they're all equal. Okay, so in this case, 1 divided by 1.3241 equal to 800 divided by x. Okay, in this case, we use this one. 1 divided by this equal to 800 divided by this. Okay, we can do other way as well. We can do 1.3241 divided by 1 equal to x divided by 800. Okay, or the other way, or top and bottom. Okay, so we can top and bottom. Instead of left and right, we can do top and bottom as well. The ratio 1 divided by 800 equal to 1.3241 divided by x. Okay, you can do any of those equivalency, and then x is equal to 1059.28. Okay, that's a table way. Okay, as I said, if you're not comfortable with just multiply 800 by this guy by 1.3241, if you get somehow confusion, because I get sometimes confusion whether I have to multiply or whether I have to divide. Okay, then use the table way. You do $1 US, it's going to be 1.3241. 800 US dollar x, and you solve for x. Okay, and the table way is you just make the ratio. 1 divided by 800 is you just make a ratio. Okay. Any question here, guys? I hope it's not too confusing. Okay. All right. So if $1 US is 1.341 Canadian, and one British pound is 1.6247, 274, sorry. Calculate the amount of US dollar you will receive with 200 pound. Okay. In this case, you have to first convert the 200 pound to Canadian, and then convert Canadian to US. Okay. So there are two conversions. Okay. There are two conversions. I'll give you guys 2 minutes for this as well. 3 minutes for this as well. So there are two conversions. All right, so all right, let's see who's answering it. Okay, letter C. Letter C. Letter C. Okay, yeah, C is right. Okay, congratulations to you guys. Okay, so what we do is just we do the multiplication for this, right? The $200 we find, 200 pound we find about how much Canadian is going to be. So 200 pound multiplied by 1.6 is going to give us this many Canadian, right? If you want to make a table as well, you can make a table. It's up to you. It's up to you. As I said, some people are more comfortable with table. So table is like you do 1 British pound, how many Canadian it is. 1 British pound is going to 1.6247. So 200 pound, how many Canadian is going to be X. And then you make the ratio. So 1 divided by this is going to be 200 divided by X, okay? Or the other way. 1.6 divided by 1 is going to be X divided by 200, okay? And you solve, so this is the ratio, and you solve for X, okay? So 325.48 is going to be the Canadian dollar equivalent 200 pound. And now we have a division, right? So you have to convert this Canadian dollar to US dollar. You have to divide this guy, division. Or you can make a table again. So you can also make a table again. So table again, you have right now you have 1 US dollar, 1.324x, X US dollar. You don't know how many US dollar it is. 325.48 Canadian, and now you make 1 divided by 1.3 equal to X divided by 325, okay? Or 1 divided by X equal to 1.3 divided by 325, okay? Or X divided by 1 equal to 325 divided by 1.320x, okay? So any of those combinations is right. When you make the table, the ratios, all those ratios are fine, okay? They're all equivalent, okay? So maybe let me explain this a little bit in the oh yeah, I can't have access to a paintbrush, okay? I didn't share my screen. So all right, so anyway, so that's how you do it, okay? So and it's going to 245 US dollar, okay? So the buying rate and selling currency. The buy rate is the rate as okay. So the buy rate is different than the conversion rate, right? Because the financial institution are generally put a commission on top of it, right? So generally you have a buy rate and you have a sell rate for the financial institution. If you go to bank, the conversion rate for today is going to be 1.34, but bank is going to charge you 1.35 or 1.36. Why? Because bank put a commission on top, right? So you have a buy rate for bank and sell rate, which are different, right? So because when bank buying from you, you take commission. Basically, when the bank's selling to you, you put the commission on top of it and sell to you. When they buy it to you, you deduct the commission from the money which you give it to them, right? So it's always bank making money, right? So you have different rates, right? You have a buy rate and you have a sell rate. So sell rate is going to be more than conversion rate because it's selling to you, right? Sell rate, right? So it's selling to you, so and then selling you more than the conversion rate for today because it's bank add is commission to it, and the buy rate is going to be less than the conversion rate. Why? Because it subtract commission from it, right? So it's still get commission from you, but it's subtracting it. Okay. So that's how it works. Commission is the fee that financial institution charge at the customer for exchanging one currency to another. That is, whether buying or selling currency, the customer always end up with paying a commission. So customer is always paying the commission, right? So you either, whether you buy or you sell the currency, you will pay the commission, right? So, for example, if the commission is 0.75% in a bank, and you want to convert 1,000 US dollar, right? First of all, you convert 1,000 US dollar to Canadian, with this conversion rate, which is going to be 1324.15, right? And now you have to add commission, and add commission top of it. So it's going to be 0.75% commission, which is going to be 0.75% of this amount. It's going to be 9.93 Canadian dollar. You add it to the conversion amount. So it's going to be, so it costs you for 1,000 US dollar. It costs you 1,334.08 Canadian, right? Because this is conversion rate, and you have to also add the commission, right? So commission and conversion together, you have to pay to buy 1,000 US dollar. Okay, that's how we calculate that. Okay. Okay, Lucas approached a local bank to purchase 2,500 US. Okay, if 1 Canadian dollar is going to be 0.7552 US, and the bank charge a commission of 1.1%, how much in Canadian dollar would Lucas have to pay for 2,500 US dollar? Okay, I will give you guys a few minutes for this, like 3 minutes for this. So we know how to do it, right? So so I'm just gonna explain it. So we know how to do it. We have a US dollar, we want to convert to Canadian. We know the conversion rate. We find how many Canadian it is, and we add commission on top of it, right? So you convert, similar to the other question. You convert it, you add commission, and the total Canadian is going to be that one. Okay. Okay. Give you 3 minutes for this. All right, let's see the answers here. Yeah, quite a lot of D here. Let's see the correct answer. Yes, D is right. Congratulations, you guys. It's pretty good. I'm proud of you guys. All right, so how do you do it? Okay, so as I said, like you first need to find how many Canadian dollars in US is the conversion rate. So you need to for that amount of US, right? So in this case, it's a division, right? Why? Because because 1 Canadian is this amount of US, right? So you have to divide this 2,500 by this number to find how many Canadian is that, right? So it's going to be division. So you either divide or you make a table, okay? It's up to you guys. As I said, if you're like me, you have difficulty whether you have to divide or you multiply, just to make a table. Table, 1 Canadian, this amount of US. X Canadian, 2,500 US, okay? You make a table, and now you do the ratio. So you can say X divided by 1 equal to 2,500 divided by this guy, okay? So that's becoming division. So X divided by 1 is X, and 2,500 divided by this guy, okay? So you see, or you can do 1 divided by this equal to X divided by this, okay? Just as I said, this when you make a table, any of this combination are right. So 1 divided by this is equal to X divided by this, or 1 divided by X equal to this divided by this, or 2,500 divided by X equal to 0.7 divided by 1, or X divided by 1 equal to this. All these combinations are right. So when you make a table, okay? So, and then 2,500, this is going to be 3,310.38 Canadian. This is just a conversion itself. You need to add commission on top of it. How much is the commission? Commission is 1.1%. So 1.1% of 3,310.38 is going to be 36.41 Canadian. Okay, so that's 1.1%, right? 0.011, right? 0.011. It's going to be 1.1%. Okay, so 36.41 Canadian. And now you add that to this number, 33.10, whatever, and you ended up with this number. Okay, it's very good, guys. Thank you. Okay, so this is a little more complicated question. We can solve it together. A bank in Toronto buys British pound at the rate of £1 equal to 1.5 Canadian. Calculate. This is very bad rate. It's very bad rate. So it's 1.7 generally. Calculate the buying commission rate in percent form that the bank charge if you want to sell £1,000. Let the bank selling rate be £1 is equal to 1.6274. Okay, so in this case, you want to find what's the commission, right? So the buying rate is so the buying rate is 1.5 Canadian for 1 British pound, and selling rate 1.6 Canadian for one pound British pound. Okay, so for 1,000 we want to know what's the commission, right? So in this case, you need to find how much you can sell and how much you can buy for 1 British pound. How many Canadian you can sell and how much you can buy for 1,000 British pound, and then you deduct them. Okay, that's going to be the commission, right? So the commission is going to be the difference between buy and sell. Okay, and then the commission percentage is going to be basically that amount of commission divided by how much you buy, because you're looking for buying commission rather than selling commission. Okay, so let's do that together. So for 1,000 pound, you will get 1,500 Canadian. So so again, you can also make the table for 1,000 pound to sell. So if you want to sell that 1,000 pound, then you get this much Canadian, right? If you buy, you get 1,500. If you sell, 1,627, and now 1,000 pound will purchase 1,500 Canadian based on the bank's buying rate. 1,000 pound would purchase 1,627.4 Canadian based on the bank's selling rate. Okay, so the commission is going to be difference between two guys, right? So the commission is going to be difference between buy and sell. So commission is going to be 127.4. And then buying commission is going to be this amount of commission divided by buying price. Okay, so buying commission, the amount of commission, the amount of based on current Canadian. So it's going to be amount of commission divided by amount based on the exchange rate in Canadian dollar. Okay, so it's going to 127.4 divided by the buying rate. So it's going to be 1,500, which is 8.49%. Okay. Which is pretty high interest rate. Okay, so that's how we calculate the commissions. Okay, so the difference between the buy and sell and then divided by buy. Okay, it's going to be basically the commission rate. Okay, so we have other concept in currency exchange as well. We call currency appreciation and depreciation. So what's currency appreciation is? Currency appreciation is when the currency basically gain value or increase the value rather than the decreasing the value. Okay, when the currency increasing value over time, we call it currency appreciation. For example, in this case, in 2017, one Canadian dollar was 0.7495 US dollar, but now in 2019 it's 0.7552 US dollar, right? So the currency appreciate in this case. Okay, so you call it currency appreciation. Okay. And depreciation is the other way, right? So in the same year, 2017, one Canadian dollar was 0.7095 euro, but in 2019 is 0.6903 euro. Okay, so currency depreciate comparing to euro. Okay, so it's always comparing together, right? So it's you compare. You can't really say generally that this currency is appreciated. You have to compare it, right? Comparing to US dollar, Canadian dollar was appreciated, but comparing to euro is depreciated. So that's two concepts if you wanna if you know about it. Okay. Let's solve another example here. Last year, a bookstore in Canada purchased textbooks from the UK for £20,000. Okay, when the exchange rate was one Canadian dollar is this much pound. Okay, this year they make the same $20,000 purchase of textbook, but the exchange rate is now one Canadian dollar is 0.6 is different exchange rate. Okay, calculate the increase or decrease of the cost. Okay, so we want to know whether it was better to buy last year or better to buy this year. Okay, so if you guys are you guys are solving this problem very often, right? So £20,000, you want to know how many Canadian dollars last year. So you have the rate. This is a division, right? So this guy you have to be divided by this guy to find Canadian dollar, right? So this divisions are the same for this guy. You do two division and then you compare the numbers. Okay, that's one way of doing it. The other way is just making the table again. So making a table, you have this amount of British pound. It's going to be $1 Canadian. How so 20,000 British pound? How many Canadian it's going to be, right? So you can also make the table. Is again at the end it's going to be division. It's going to be 20,000 divided by this by 0.685, right? So it's going to be 32,867 Canadian last year. Yeah. So this year, again, you make the same table but the different rate. Again, it's going to be another division, 3256 Canadian, right? So and then now you compare them together. Last year, 32,867. This year, 32,546. So this year is cheaper, right? So this year is cheaper with this amount. The increase or decrease of the cost, it decreased. How much decreased? $320.92. Okay. So that's how we calculate this. Okay. All right. So another concept you want to learn, if you import the goods from different country, for example, to Canada. Okay. So I know some people who are importing cars to Canada. Okay, and it's very profitable business as well. So if you know how to do it, that's each car make you a few $1,000s, I would say. So if you're smart about it. So how do you import the cars, for example, or the goods from United States to US to Canada? You basically first thing you have to do, you basically price of the goods. You have to convert the price of the goods that you bought there to Canadian dollar, okay? And also you have to pay import duty. Generally, it's a percentage of the price, and on top of the whole thing, you have to also pay HST, which is going to be GST plus PST. Okay, so it's also a percentage, right? It's like 13%, 20%, 13% generally for the cars. Okay, so basically whatever you buy, and then you want to import, you have basically you have to change the currency from US dollar to Canadian, and then add import duty. Generally, at the custom, they ask you how much did you buy this. For example, for my case, I had the car in US back like 10 years ago. I bought the car in US, and then I had to move to Canada. I had to move back to Canada. Then in the border, they asked me how much did you buy the car. I say like I think I bought like 40,000 US. The car was Acura, and then I said 40,000, and then the import duty was I think 3% or something. It was something very small. I could pay like a few $100. I paid that, but they give me also a slip, which I had to pay a really big number. So it was HSTPSC, which is like 13% of the value of the car. It was around like, it was a pretty big number in Canadian. It was like $6,000-7,000 Canadian, and I couldn't plate my car in Canada and insured my car if I didn't pay that. So if I go to plating, I want to plate the car, and they didn't accept it. I have to pay for that slip, the HST slip. So that's how system works here. So, but with all of those, you still make some profit if you do that. So I've sold my car for bigger than those things in Canada back in old days. Anyway, so that's how it works. As I said, it's just you do the price, you change the price, and then you add those things. So let's solve a question here. Jason drove to Buffalo, USA, to buy a winter coat. He paid $500 US, including tax, for the coat that costs 700 Canadian in Canada, including tax in Canada. In Canada, the customs already charged a duty of 18% for the jacket. He also paid 13% HST after the duty was applied. Calculate the total amount he has spent on the jacket, and if it was cheaper to buy the jacket in Buffalo, assume that the $1 Canadian is going to be this amount of US. Okay, so bought the jacket for $500 US, right? So, but the same jacket in Canada is going to be 700. So what we have to do, we need to find how much is going to be the cost in Canadian dollar, and also when he wants to import it, we have to add 18% on top of the cost, and the whole thing again add another 13%. Okay, because 18% duty, and on top of the whole thing, it's 30% HST. Okay, and then we compare it with the 700 to see which one is cheaper. Okay. I'll give you guys a few minutes for this as well, like 3 minutes. So convert this to Canadian, 500 to Canadian, add 18%, and on the whole thing, add 13% again, okay? And then compare it with 700. All right, so let's see the answers here. A, D, D. Okay, so a lot of confusion here. So which one is right or not? Okay. Okay, so A, yes, and yes, A is right. So I don't know how come you ended up with D, but A is right. And it's cheaper. It's not cheaper to buy in Buffalo. It's better just buy in Canada. Okay, for the jacket. Okay. This is an example, guys. It's not always true, right? So also you don't really pay for your jacket when you come to Canada, right? Yeah, you never pay for your jacket when you come to Canada, right? The customs, the border security is not asking you how much did you buy your jacket and they pay the duty on it. So it's just an example, guys. Okay. Okay. So how do we do it? So as I said, is we need to find, first of all, we need to convert 500 to Canadian, right? So 500 to Canadian is going to be 500 divided by this number, right? So it's going to give you Canadian, right? It's 500 divided by 0.7495. It's going to give you how many Canadian is that, right? So, or you can make a table, as I said. So table, you see 1 Canadian is going to be this much US, X Canadian is going to be 500, okay? And then you find the X. So it's going to be the same division, right? 500 divided by 0.749495, right? So 500 divided by this one. So it's going to be 667.11. It's going to be the guys. This is 667.11. Some of you guys say D. So this just the price, okay? But you want to import it to Canada, right? This is not the final price. You want to import it to Canada. So 667.11, you have to pay 18% duty on it, okay? So 18% duty on this guy is going to be 0.18. On this guy is going to $120 already. You have to add to this guy, okay? So you add to 667, right? So it's going to be 120 plus 667 is going to be 787. That's including duty, okay? And now again, on top of that, you have to add HST, right? You also paid HST after the duty was applied, okay? So 13% HST on this guy is going to be 0.13 multiplied by this guy. So it was 787. So it's going to be $102 DUT, HST as well, 102.33 HST. You have to add this number to this number to come to the final number. So 102.33 plus 787 is going to be 889.52. That's going to be final cost for Jason to bring the coat to Canada. And this is more expensive than the jacket in Canada. So it's better to just buy it in Canada. Okay. All right, guys. Any question? Any question, guys? All right. No question means everyone is learning it very good. So one more time, lesson. Let me see whether I can share my screen. I'm not sure that I can share my screen or not. So let's see if I can do that. Oh yeah. So one more time, lesson and lab 8. You can do it, guys. I recommend after the class, I recommend you just go and do it because the thing is fresh in your mind. And you basically you can do it right away, okay? But after you wait for a few days, you forgot what you learned, all those things. I generally recommend after the class you do it. So right now, lesson 8 and lab 8, you can basically do it, okay? So what you learned today, basically you can apply to do lesson 8 and lab 8, okay? That's all I want to say. So. Okay, if you don't have any other question, we can basically call it off. Any question, guys? All right, no question means that we're good. We can basically call it off today. All right, guys, have a good weekend.
Thank you, Professor.
Yeah, see you next week, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.